What's up guys, this is Rise and welcome to an awesome video. Today I am going to be recapping for you my run in the Tournament of Champions, a tournament in my home server Osmo PvP amongst players that have won a tournament already within the server, and these are under the rules format of the Singularity Cup. Essentially the only Pokemon that are allowed are mono-type Pokemon, meaning one type Pokemon. So we all build our best teams with only single type Pokemon. And this first match is against our guy Cuddy, a friend of ours. Within this server, we play against him quite often. We have that interesting lead. I believe it was Granville versus Charum. And guys, the awesome thing about these cups is you never know what Pokemon are going to be great in a different meta. And Seviper, which you would never see in another meta, was arguably my MVP of this tournament. Seviper, along with some others, had some great play. But you'll see in this video that Seviper does really well in some matchups. But anyway, let's get into the battles. This is round one. We shield up this Blastburn. We know it'll do a lot. We're going to be running Ice Punch and Psychic on our Hypno. Ice Punch is going to be for those grass types, and Psychic is going to be for any fighters, and it'll hit a lot of things for neutral. Okay. Weather Ball coming in is enough to take out Granbull. It's my first time ever using Granbull, and it does so much damage with Charm, but it's very squishy. Ice Punch is enough to take out the Charum with our shiny Hypno. Typhlosion's coming in. I know I can get to a Psychic if I shield, so I am going to shield, and then I'm going to go for this Psychic, which will be plenty to KO Typhlosion. And you'll notice our teams, every Pokemon is mono type. So my team is Hitmonchan, fighting type, Granbull, fairy type, Dragonair, dragon type, Hypno, psychic type, Seviper, poison type, and Berserker, steel type. In this next match, I am going to lead for you the thumbnail Seviper rattling and poisoning in the Great League in Pokemon Go. It has a pretty decent moveset with Poison Jab, Poison Fang, and Crunch. Poison Jab is going to do a lot of damage as a fast move. Can we get a good lead? Let's see Seviper versus Granbull. That's what you want to see. We will be resisting Charms and doing super effective with Poison Jab. We get in one Poison Jab maybe before he switches out. And I'm actually going to stay in here because I don't have a great response to Typhlosion. And I can spam off these Poison Fangs pretty quick, and these Poison Jabs are doing more damage than these Shadow Claws. So I can comfortably shield the Blastburn. Going for the Poison Jab here. And we get another shield, and yeah, we're just gonna not risk having to eat another Blastburn, so we just go straight for this Poison Jab. And not only do we win the lead, but we win the lead with a shield advantage, and he doesn't have an answer. So Seviper is going on a tear here. Poison Fang coming in. Will this KO? It does. Seviper takes out two Pokemon by itself, and at this point we're looking good. Hypno can handle Vigoroth. It will take resisted damage from these counters. Body Slams will add up, but we can get to a Psychic. And Vigoroth isn't the tankiest of Pokemon, so Psychic will do quite a bit. Plus, it's one of... Hypno has so many moves, but it's one of the few moves Hypno has that gets stabbed. Body Slam coming in. Hypno's pretty tanky. Hypno can survive a Body Slam pretty easily, and we take out Vigoroth. So that was a good round one. Good games to Cuddy. And we are going to go into, right now, round number two. In round number two, we actually play against Jetson. Jetson is a... In round number two, we're actually going against Jetson. Jetson, as of now recording this, is the number 63 ranked player in the entire world. Definitely a name that people know of in the Sylph arena community. Really awesome battler. I was joking out. If you guys join Osmo and you do these tournaments with us, I like to have a lot of fun in the chats. I'm joking like if I believe in myself, maybe I can take out the great Jetson. He's very highly touted. He's very good, but I have skills, and if I believe I'm capable of doing this, and I'm just like being weird and funny. I don't know, trying to get in people's heads. One time I asked JR, our server's founder, like right before tournaments, are like, hey JR, and he knows that I've done so many tournaments and I'm pretty decent at the game. And I'm like, hey JR, first time trying out this PvP mode. I was wondering, does it matter what Pokemon I use, and also do movesets matter? Thanks, let me know. I don't think anyone got the joke, but I thought it was pretty funny. Okay, kind of a neutral lead, Dragonair versus Umbreon. I think Umbreon can out-tank Dragonair in this matchup. So we're gonna have to probably commit a shield at some point. I'm gonna go for the hard-hitting Dragon Pulse. Hopefully Umbreon doesn't shield, because Umbreon's so tanky, people don't like to shield it. Dragon Pulse lands, which is great. Now Umbreon's pretty low. I am gonna shield this, and I'm just hoping I can get to this Aqua Tail before another charge move, and I can, so this is great. Now Umbreon has to shield or let, and Jetson decides to let Umbreon go. Okay. He comes in with Hypno. I'm just gonna do as much as I can, and I just barely get to this Aqua Tail before the damage from that Confusion registers. So this is great, gives us some more chip damage. And then check this out. Obviously I can't go in with my Hitmonchan, so I go in with Berserker, and I see that he's charging up a lot of energy. So I have to be careful. What's he gonna throw? You never know the moveset on Hypno. And he shields the Foul Play. So I'm like, okay, if he shielded that, like, it could very well be a Focus Blast, and I correctly shield the Focus Blast, which is great. Neither of our Pokemon are like a great answer to Muck, but Berserker is a pretty decent answer. I'm gonna just switch into Hitmonchan to absorb this damage. This is probably, what is it gonna be actually? A Thunder Punch. Yeah, Thunder Punch isn't the strongest move, so it's not gonna do a ton. Hitmonchan can actually survive another one. And we go for the Close Combat. This will be resisted, but Close Combat is such an insane move. I think it does more than an Ice Punch would do, even though Ice Punch isn't resisted. And from this point, we can just Shadow Claw down, and Hypno will come in, but Hypno already used that Focus Blast, so it's out of energy, and we can go for this Foul Play and take the win. So we win game number 1 against Jetson. Remember, Jetson, one of very few, you see that elite title I have in the graphic? That very few, I think like less than 600 people in the world have that elite ranking, and he's number 63 in the entire world at the time of making this video. So very, very elite trainer. Let's see if we can come away with the upset. And one thing I love about these tournaments is the strategy of picking your team. I'm including it. Let's see what my thought process is. I'm gonna put Gramble in there. He has, between Umbreon and Hariyama, he has 2 Pokemon that are extremely weak to Granbull. And he doesn't, except maybe Muck. Yeah, well, he has a few. Muck and Berserker will counter Granbull very well. But Granbull will obviously tie against itself, and it will hold its own against Hypno. So, +2, just very hard counter matchups. I think Granbull was also a great pick for me in this tournament. We catch a great lead. Berserker versus Hypno. He switches to Umbreon, we switch to Granbull. And that was an interesting switch I made. Because I do have Hitmonchan in the back, right? And you could argue, so my Hitmonchan could avoid the Hypno, I should have gone for him. And I make a great read here, and I knew it was just a Foul Play. So I don't shield, and this allows me to Charm down without using a shield, and I have a charge move ready. I'm going straight for the Crunch against Hypno. This will do a lot of damage if it goes unshielded. It goes unshielded, takes out like half health of the Hypno. Now we're in a great position. Berserker comes in. He switches into his own Berserker, and I go for this Foul Play. Maybe I should have saved it, but this game is already over because we can go into Hitmonchan, and these counters are just gonna do so much energy. And at this point, Jetson knows that this game is essentially over, so he stopped even going with his Berserker. He's just gonna let these go through. He's not gonna bother confusioning down my Hitmonchan, and we take game 2. So it's best 2 out of 3. We already took 2 against Jetson, one of the world's top players. I was really happy with that. And it shows you guys, if you get to a certain level, if you get lucky and get some leads, you're capable of beating anybody, and we were able to beat Jetson there, so I was very happy with that. Thank you for the games, Jetson. We're gonna go into a game 3 against him because in these tournaments you always play all 3 games, just in terms of tiebreaker purposes, and it also will affect your overall ranking. We're in the Grand Bull mirror match. Okay. We're just gonna charm each other down, and we're both going to faint at the same time. And now you always, in this situation, never switch right away. You always want to wait to the last second to switch because you don't want to let your opponent know where you're going. And now we're in the fighter mirror match, and this is interesting. So I think Hariyama is just like so highly attack weighted that it actually, you can see it's doing much more damage with its counters. It's definitely ahead on energy. Heavy Slam coming in. I shield because my Berserker does not want to see this Hariyama. I'm hoping that he doesn't shield this, but he does shield, and now we're in a tough situation. We still do have a shield. I'm going to shield in case it's like a close combat, but it's a superpower. Oof. And even though he gets the debuff, check this out. Hariyama has such a crazy attack in the Great League that a superpower KOs me after it had already been debuffed. It takes out like 80% health, so that was just insane. And good game 3 to Jetson, but because we won the first 2 in that set, we are moving on into the next round. This is round number 3 against Negative Ben. Negative Ben 10 to be specific. Oh, Ben 10, like the cartoon. I never even put that together, man. That's awesome. I used to watch that show when I was young. But anyway, he's a really good battler too. You can see his ace level, his ranking is actually higher than mine. Recently, we were in the same wildcard tournament, and yeah, Negative Ben 10 did really well. He was like very close to actually winning the entire thing. So let's see how we fare up against him. We're in an interesting lead, Granbull versus Blastoise. I do have to shield because Hydro Cannon would probably take out Granbull from that range. And what do I do here? Unfortunately, he gets to another Hydro Cannon, so I actually have to double shield my Granbull. So even though we won switch advantage, we're not in a great situation because we have already used both of our shields. He comes in with Meganium, so I am actually going to throw this close combat and get out of here. And that way I still have some health and energy. And I come in with Seviper, and let's see. He doesn't have anything on his team that really hard counters Seviper. So the fact that he's staying in here tells me he might have his own Granbull in the back. I'm not sure. No, it's an Umbreon. Okay. And yeah, we let our Seviper go. Well, actually, we didn't have any shields. We didn't have a choice. But Granbull has a great matchup here against Umbreon. And now this is going to be really close, actually, because Umbreon's so tanky and he has a shield. We're just going to go for this Aqua Tail. But I think Meganium, after using its energy, is already in Dragon Breath down range. I could be wrong, but I think so. We have to eat a Dark Pulse. We probably can't survive another one. Are we going to get there in time? Yes, we use our energy. So that's a situation where even though he was so low on health, we had to use that charge move. Otherwise, he could have gotten off a Dark Pulse and lost. So that's a situation where you do want to use your energy even if your opponent has like super little health, because it was a race to the charge move. We take game 1 against Negative Ben 10. Let's hit into game number 2. Are we going to switch around our team at all? We've got Seviper in there. Seviper put in some work against Meganium. Got it super low. And then got taken out with the Earthquake. But yeah, they almost won the matchup without any shields. With a shield disadvantage. Looks like we had Seviper, Granbull, and Dragonair, if I saw that correctly. Same lineup. Hopefully I'm not wrong about that. Maybe I am. We'll see. These are in 1.5 times speed, all these battles, so sometimes it can be a little tricky keeping up. This is the semi-finals once again. semifinals of the Tournament of Champions, the Singularity Cup, a meta that my friend and the Osmo founder, JR, invented himself. We got a great lead, Granbull versus Umbreon. Now it's switched into a Dragonair versus Meganium matchup. Frenzy Plant's resisted, but Dragonair is kind of glassy, and yeah, so I go for the Aqua Tail bait here, thinking he might use a shield, and he doesn't, so not great for us. And at this point, I have to shield if I want to retain switch advantage. Do I try and Dragon Breath down? I do, and this is okay. So even though we lost the shields, we still have switch advantage, and we have 2 Aqua Tails maybe ready. He comes in with Granbull. Granbull is just gonna destroy us, so I just go for the Aqua Tail straight away, and 1 Charm takes out a decent chunk of health from Dragonair. Coming with Seviper, he comes in with Umbreon, and we've basically hard countered this team. That Dragonair Meganium matchup was fairly even, but this is just hard counter city. And I actually almost blow this. I try farming down. Yeah, I really almost blew this. I shield, I farm down, I have charge moves ready, but I'm like, you know, he's gonna shield anyway, so I like hesitated, and now we've got the Poison Fang coming in. At this point, I probably should have just tried Poison Jabbing down, to be honest. So that was like 2 mistakes right there, and he had to be super close to a charge move, but luckily we still come out of that one on top, and we're heading to the championship against Hate Red. And I had played Hate Red like 2 times in the previous 2 days before this, and I'd beaten him both times, so I'm feeling confident, right? And I'm looking at his team, and he's got Umbreon, he's got Dragonair, he's got Machamp, he's got 3 things that are super weak to Granbull. So I'm feeling super confident going into this match, and let's see what happens. This is the championship round, best 2 out of 3. Whoever wins this wins the Tournament of Champions. Can I get the UEFA Champions League? The champions. But yeah, we're going into this against Hate Red. 914. Really solid trainer. Once again, you see by his bar, his level, that he's a higher ranked trainer than me. I have gotten the best of him the previous 2 times. Is revenge due? Will the sweep continue? Let's find out. Great lead, Granbull versus Dragonair. So my Granbull lead strategy was great in that situation. I go into Hypno. Hypno's gonna take resisted damage from these counters from Vigoroth. We'll have to eat probably a couple of body slams. I go for the Ice Punch. I don't expect to get a shield, but this will get him low enough to confusion down. 1 more body slam is fine. Hypno can take it. Puts us in the red, but we are almost at an Ice Punch, and I think a confusion or 2 away from a Psychic. What's he gonna come in with? He comes with Dragonair, so I just go straight for the Ice Punch. No point in trying to get risky. I get 2 confusions in before I go down, which is some nice chip damage. Come back in with Granbull. He comes in with Hypno, and I decide to go for this crunch before I get out of here. That draws the last shield. Oh, and you know what? I actually decide to stay in because I have my own Dragonair in back, and I know with a health advantage, my own Dragonair can take out his Dragonair. And I saw that an Ice Punch didn't do that much, so I don't shield here. Probably really stupid not to shield, but I knew he still had a shield, so it wouldn't like matter if I got to a charge move. And I thought maybe he possibly had double Ice Punches stored up, so a little risky, but I end up winning with 2 shields and he had 1 shield. So we take game 1. We're 1 game away from the championship. 1 game away. I had 2 fingers up, 1 on each hand though. 1 game away against Hate Red for the title. Can we do it? And I get a little bit careless, as you're gonna see. I lead with Granbull again. I don't change up my strategy, and I go with 3 Pokemon that he doesn't have great, like, too many hard counters for. I go with Pokemon that I feel like are safer options. I switch into my Dragonair, and honestly, I should have switched earlier. I should have switched right away because I knew Granbull would likely have a good matchup in the back. But I took my time, and this allows him to get an energy advantage on me. And now we're not in a great situation. And what do I do here? I shield the Ice Punch to try and retain switch advantage. But now I'm down a shield, and Dragonair is about to go down. And Meganium comes in, and this is the problem, is we don't have like a hard counter for Meganium. So what I'm thinking now reflecting, hindsight is 2020, but I think you should try and have at least like a hard counter in your lineup for every type of Pokemon, because switch advantage doesn't mean that much if you're running like a neutral lineup that has... Because Hypno, what is Hypno a hard counter on his team? Only Machamp, but he didn't run Machamp. And I should have expected the Meganium because Meganium has pretty decent matchups against my whole team. So I really should have run Seviper, but I didn't. And I unfortunately don't learn from that game. I don't make any changes, I don't believe. Let's see what happens. We're gonna go into a game 3. You can see by the names of some of my Pokemon that these are from different tournaments I've participated in. And you know what? I'm kind of just banking on a Dragonair, Umbreon, or Machamp lead. But he hasn't used Machamp, so leading Granbull for the 3rd time, I was hoping for that reverse psychology, him thinking there's no way he leads Granbull again. And check this out. It's Vigoroth. Counters are resisted, right? I should win this matchup, right? Well, I stay in without really knowing how this matchup plays out. And look how much Body Slam does, just because Granbull is so ridiculously glassy. And then I make another mistake here, and I'm thinking, oh, look how much these charms are doing. I don't have to use a charge move. I can just charm him down. But we simultaneous KO, and this puts me in a very bad situation because now I'm down a shield, and we're basically in a 2-on-2. And because the Pokemon I'm using are not going to hard counter his Pokemon, he is in a phenomenal position. Ice Punch is going to do a lot, so I have to shield. And now I'm down 2 shields. I'm going for the Aqua Tail. He might not even shield this. Yeah, he's not even going to shield. He is in a very comfortable situation. Going for another Aqua Tail. I switch into my own Hypno to catch this Ice Punch. Just, hoping for the best, trying to keep hopes alive. But Meganium is going to be able to get charge moves fairly quickly, and it still has 2 shields. So the reason I'm not throwing the Ice Punch and I'm over farming is because he has 2 shields, so he's just gonna shield with Ice Punch, and I didn't really have any play in that situation. Theoretically, I get 2 Ice Punches, he shields 2 times, and then he hits Dragonair with the Earthquake anyway. So, good games, and congratulations to Hate Raid. You got your revenge, you got the best of me. Very talented trainer. Everyone I played in this tournament, obviously, were very talented trainers. It's the Tournament of Champions, a tournament of people that have already won tournaments within the Osmo PvP server. And yeah, Hate Red Man, you really deserve that, because I think I had a better team constructed, matchup-wise against your team, and you still were able to outsmart me and outplay me in the championship, coming back from a 1-game deficit and taking 2 and 3. So congrats, man. Thank you to Jetson. Thank you to Cuddy. Thank you to Negative Ben 10, everybody. And thank you to Battle Courier for organizing this whole thing and coming up with the Singularity Cup. Without further ado, if you enjoyed this content, this video took extra long to make, so I'd appreciate a like. If you're new here, subscribe. You know what's interesting? 90% of our channel views come from people that are not subscribed to this channel. Isn't that crazy? So if everyone that actually watched this channel subscribed, we'd have 20,000 subscribers. But we're almost at 2,000, and I'm really happy with that growth. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed this content, share it with your friends. Like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. Without further ado, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.